I'm 73 years old, and the thing I need to tell you is so simple it will sound foolish. But it took me 52 years to learn it, more than half my life. I don't have that kind of time to give you, so I'm going to try and give you the shortcut. It's about my son. His name is Michael. He's 48 now. He has a daughter of his own. He calls me on Sunday afternoons, regular as clockwork. We talk for 20 minutes, the weather, his job, my knees, his daughter's soccer. It's a good call. It's a kind call. And when we hang up, I sit in this quiet house and I feel a loneliness so deep it's like a physical ache. Because I built that loneliness myself, brick by brick, year by year. I was so careful in its construction, I never even heard the walls going up. It started when he was a boy. I was in my 20s, just a kid myself, really. I had a family to provide for. That was the phrase I used to myself, to my wife, Carol. I'm providing. It felt noble. It felt like the entire point of being a man. I worked in office equipment sales, not glamorous but steady. I left before Michael woke up. I got home after dinner was eaten, the dishes were done, his bath was finished. Carol would have his little drawings waiting for me on the kitchen table. A blue dog, a house with a too big chimney. I'd look at them and feel a warm wash of love. And then I'd feel tired. I'd put them on the fridge with a magnet thinking, I'll talk to him about them in the morning. But in the morning I was rushing, tying my tie, gulping coffee, checking my briefcase. He'd be at the table in his pajamas, spooning cereal. I'd kiss the top of his head. Be good for your mom. Daddy has to go. I said that thousands of times. Daddy has to go. The years just unfolded, one into the next. There were little league games, I made it to some. The important ones, I thought, the championships. I'd show up in my work clothes, my dress shoes dusty on the bleachers. He'd look into the stands, find me, and give a little wave. I'd wave back. I felt proud just being there. I didn't see the other fathers in their jeans and sneakers, the ones who were at every practice, who knew the names of all the other kids. I was there for the big moment. That was enough. Then it was school plays. He was a tree in the second grade, just a tree standing there. Carol insisted I go. I had a big account meeting the next day, a presentation I was nervous about. I sat in that hard auditorium seat, my mind running over bullet points, my leg jiggling. I saw him up there, a brown paper bag trunk holding out green construction paper leaves. I smiled. I took a picture. When it was over, I gave him a quick hug. You were a great tree, buddy. He smelled like paste and child sweat. Thanks, Dad, he said. I remember he looked up at me. Did you see my one leaf fall off? I hadn't. I must have been looking at my watch. I must have missed it, I said. Next time. He just nodded. There is no next time for a second grade play. You don't get a do-over. You just have a memory or you don't. The cost of all this was so slow. It wasn't one big argument, one slammed door. It was a quiet erosion. It was the way his questions for me got smaller, less frequent. He stopped asking me how engines worked, why the sky was blue. He asked his mother, or he looked it up himself. By the time he was a teenager, our conversations were logistical. Can I borrow the car? What's my curfew? Do you need me to mow the lawn? I thought this was normal. I thought this was just what having a teenage boy was like. I was busy climbing at work. I was finally making real money. We moved to a bigger house. I bought the boat I'd always wanted. I thought that boat was a symbol of all I'd provided. We'd go out on it as a family, I imagined. We'd de-fish, we'd laugh. We went out on it 3 times. Michael got seasick once. Mostly, he wanted to be with his friends. When he left for college, I felt it, a real sharp pang. I helped him carry his boxes into the dorm. We set up his little desk lamp. We shook hands, then awkwardly hugged. "Work hard," I said. "Make us proud." He said, "I will, Dad," and he drove off with Carol. I went back to the empty house. I walked past his clean, quiet room, and for the first time I felt a tremor of something, not quite regret, more like dislocation. As if I'd been reading a long book, and someone had turned to the last chapter without me noticing. The next 2 decades are a blur of what I used to call living. Work, retirement parties, golf. Carol and I settled into a comfortable rhythm. Michael built his life. He became a thoughtful, capable man. I'd hear it in his voice when he called. He didn't need my advice. He didn't need my money. He was just checking in. I was proud of him. I truly was. But the pride lived in a separate room from this other feeling, this hollow feeling. I didn't let them meet. The turning point wasn't dramatic. It was a Tuesday. Carol had passed away 5 years before. That's a different kind of loneliness. This was the year my knees got really bad and I had to sell the house, move into this manageable little bungalow. Michael flew down to help me move. He was a rock. He handled everything, the realtors, the movers, the utilities. I mostly just pointed at things, saying what to keep, what to let go. On his last night, we were in the new place, boxes everywhere. We ordered pizza and sat on the living room floor because the furniture hadn't arrived yet. We were tired, sitting there in the quiet, the cardboard smell all around us. He took a bite of his pizza and looked around. "It's a good place, Dad. It'll feel like home soon." I nodded, and then I don't know why I said it. Maybe it was the exhaustion. Maybe it was the bare walls. I said, "Your mother, she was the one who knew you. She knew your favorite book as a kid. She knew your first crush's name. She knew why you quit the baseball team." I paused. I just showed up to the games." He looked at me, his expression unreadable. He wiped his hands on a napkin. He was quiet for a long time. "I remember you at those games," he said finally. His voice was gentle. "You were always in your work shoes. You looked uncomfortable." "I was," I said, and then I asked the question I had never in 48 years dared to ask. What was I like as a father? He didn't speak right away. He looked at his hands, and he said, "You were reliable. You were there when it really mattered. I never doubted that you loved me." He met my eyes. "But you were a concept, Dad, more than a person. You were the idea of Dad, the provider, the rule maker. I didn't really know you, and I don't think you ever really knew me." He said it without malice. It was just a statement of fact, a quiet, devastating report on a 48-year project. That was the moment the walls I'd built finally became visible, and I saw that they didn't keep anything out. They only kept me in. What can't be fixed is the time, the specific, precious, ordinary time. The thousands of mornings I could have sat for 10 more minutes and asked him about his dream. The afternoons I could have thrown a ball in the yard instead of reviewing sales reports. The evenings I could have asked him about his sadness, his fears, his small triumphs, instead of asking if his homework was done. I traded presents for provision. I traded shared moments for solitary achievement. And now I have the achievement, a retirement plaque, a watch, a bank statement. and he has a memory of a man in dress shoes, always about to leave. So what did it take me 52 years to learn? It's this: love is not a thing you feel. It's a place you choose to be. For so long, I thought love was the warm feeling in my chest when I saw his drawing on the fridge. That was just the symptom. The love itself was the act of pulling out the chair next to him and saying, "Tell me about this dog. Why is it blue?" Love was being present in the mundane, terrible, boring, beautiful minute of it. Love was being a person, not a concept. I chose to be elsewhere. I chose the abstract future of providing over the concrete reality of his childhood. And you cannot, no matter how much you wish for it, no matter how much you regret it, you cannot repatriate yourself into a moment that has passed. You can only stand outside it forever, looking in at a scene where you are absent. If you have a person in your life, a child, a parent, a friend, a partner, do not love them from a distance. Do not love them in theory. Do not believe that your duty, your work, your grand plan for someday is more important than the 5 minutes they need you today. Because someday is a thief. It steals the now, and the now is all we ever really have. When Michael left the next morning, we hugged at the door, a real long hug. I held onto him, this strong, kind man I helped make but somehow never really met. I wanted to say 100 things. I wanted to apologize for every missed leaf falling. All I could get out was, "Thank you for everything." He patted my back. "Call me if you need anything, Dad." I watch his car drive away. I come back into this quiet, tidy house. I have everything I need, and almost nothing that I want. So that's what I have to tell you. Don't waste your years building a museum of your own diligence. No one visits it. They visit you, or they don't, and that is the sum of a life. My remaining time is short. I feel it like a shortening of light in the evening. I will fill it as best I can. I will listen more closely to his 20-minute calls. I will try, in my clumsy way, to be a person now. It's too late for so much, but it's not too late to stop building the walls higher. I hope you understand. I hope you can just walk out of the room you're building and go sit with someone you love, and just be there. Not planning, not providing, just being. That's all.